The sky tore open like a wounded beast. One moment the world was calm. The next, a blazing rift cracked across the horizon. And through that glowing tear stepped a figure the world thought it knew. A symbol of hope, a legend, a man who could move planets with his bare hands. Superman. But something was wrong. His eyes burned with cosmic static. His cape snapped like a war banner in a storm. And the ground trembled beneath his boots. People didn't run. They froze. Because even in pure terror, it was still Superman. And that's where this story begins, at the edge of two worlds colliding. Real quick, if you love impossible clashes, insane power scaling, and cross-universe chaos, make sure to subscribe. Now let's dive in. The rift wasn't supposed to open in the hidden leaf. But fate has never cared about supposed to. Naruto Uzumaki was on the Hokage monument, staring at the sunset, enjoying a rare moment of peace. No threats. No invasions. No god-tier maniacs trying to erase existence. Just quiet. Then the air snapped. Chakra recoiled. Wind pressure spiked. And a force unlike anything Naruto had ever felt hammered across the village. It wasn't chakra. It wasn't ninjutsu. It wasn't even life energy. It was something heavier. Something older. Something that carried the weight of dying stars. Naruto stood. His cloak rustled. The Nine Tails energy flared inside him like a cautious heartbeat. And then he saw it. A glowing wound in the sky. And from its center, a silhouette drifting downward like a fallen deity. Naruto narrowed his eyes. No wings. No jutsu symbols. No monstrous form. Just a man. But the aura around him? It felt like the universe was holding its breath. Naruto exhaled slowly. Okay, this doesn't feel good. The figure landed with a tremor that rippled across rooftops. Dust exploded outward. Birds fled. Windows shook. Naruto flashed forward in an instant, appearing at the crater's edge. And there he was. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Hair black as ink. Suit torn like he had dragged himself through a supernova. Superman. But this wasn't the heroic posture Naruto expected. Superman was kneeling, fists buried in the dirt, body trembling like he was holding back an ocean. Naruto raised a cautious hand. Hey, you okay, man? Superman looked up, and that's when Naruto felt it. A pressure so intense his bones vibrated. Those eyes, burning red, not with anger, but with pain. Where am I? Superman whispered, voice fractured like glass. You're in the Hidden Leaf Village, Naruto said slowly. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. 7th Hokage. The name meant nothing to Superman. But the tone did. A protector. A leader. Someone Superman could instinctively trust. I wasn't supposed to leave my universe, Superman muttered. Something dragged me out. Something strong. His gaze flickered with brief panic, like he was remembering a nightmare. Naruto felt his senses sharpen. Someone strong enough to pull Superman through universes? That was a problem Naruto couldn't ignore. But before he could ask more, the ground split. Superman clutched his skull. His aura surged like a nuclear sunrise. An energy blasted outward, forcing Naruto to dig his heels into the earth. Move! Superman roared. Naruto leapt back just as beams of raw heat vision ripped through the earth, carving molten trenches that glowed like hellfire. Trees snapped. Stone melted. Air combusted. Superman wasn't attacking. He was losing control. Naruto summoned his chakra cloak instantly, golden flames spiraling around him like a living storm. Kurama, I know, the fox growled inside him. This man's power is unreal. Naruto launched forward, not to strike, but to stop the world's most dangerous panic attack. He slammed a hand on Superman's shoulder. Knock it off. The instant they touched, Naruto felt it. The mind behind the power. Fractured. Overloaded. Dragged across realities by a force that didn't care about consequences. Superman gasped as Naruto's chakra steadied him, like someone lowering a raging sun into calm hands. The heat vision flickered. The tremors died. And Superman exhaled a shaking breath. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto gave a half grin. No problem. But next time, maybe don't explode half my village when you show up. Superman actually chuckled. And the tension between worlds softened. For a second. Because fate wasn't done today. The rift above them pulsed. Once, twice, then split open wider. A shadow stepped out, tall, hooded, face like a cracked mask of obsidian. Naruto stiffened. Superman's eyes narrowed. And the figure spoke in a voice that sounded like falling stone. Kal-El, you were not the one I wanted. But you will do. Superman rose slowly. What do you want from me? The figure tilted its head. Your power. A wave of black energy blasted downward, shaking the village to its core. Superman moved first, intercepting the blast with crossed arms. It sent him skidding across the earth, carving a trench 100 meters long. Naruto flashed forward beside him. You okay? Superman wiped blood from his lip. That wasn't magic. That wasn't chakra. That wasn't anything I've felt before. Naruto nodded grimly. Then we're dealing with someone new. The shadow stepped forward, its aura expanding like a suffocating storm. You two stand at the edge of extinction. Kneel or break. Naruto cracked his knuckles. Yeah, sorry. Kneeling isn't really our thing. Superman rolled his shoulder. Neither is losing. The villain raised a hand. Reality trembled. Space twisted. And before either hero could react, Superman vanished. Ripped away like a candle in a hurricane. Naruto's gut dropped. Superman. Too late. The godlike stranger lowered its hand. Now, Hokage, let us see what a world without your protector looks like. Naruto's eyes hardened. His chakra flared. His voice dropped to a deadly whisper. You made one big mistake. Golden flames erupted behind him like a rising sun. You think I'm alone. Naruto's cloak of chakra exploded outward, flames blazing gold and orange. Every inch of the hidden leaf quaked under his power. The ground split beneath him as he leapt forward. The shadowy villain barely moved, its black robe flowing like liquid night. And then, a flash of light. Superman reappeared, his body glowing faintly, eyes still glowing red, but his expression calm now. He had fought the pull of the rift and won. Naruto's eyes met his. We've got a problem, he said. Superman didn't respond with words. Instead, he launched into the sky like a missile. The shadow didn't flinch. Its form twisted. Energy crackled around its fists. A single punch, and reality itself seemed to shiver. Naruto followed, tailwind from his Rasengan slicing the air. Think fast, he shouted. Superman's eyes locked on the enemy. Heat vision fired, beams scorching the clouds above. The villain raised an arm, and the beams bent as if reality itself was bending to its will. Naruto felt a familiar surge in his chest. Chakra from the Nine Tails screamed in excitement. This is it, Kurama said. Your strength is nothing compared to this, but together, you might stand a chance. Naruto's hands glowed. He combined his Rasengan with Kurama's chakra, spiraling it into a massive golden sphere. He launched it at the enemy. The shadow's hand met it, and the two powers collided. The sky exploded. Mountains trembled. The hidden leaf itself shook as if it might crumble to dust. Naruto's hair whipped around his face. Superman hovered beside him, fists clenched, aura blazing blue and red. It wasn't just a battle of strength. It was a war of worlds. The villain laughed, low and echoing, shaking the air like a war drum. You are powerful, too powerful, and yet powerless. Superman's jaw tightened. Not powerless, he said. Just ready. And then he did something Naruto hadn't expected. Superman darted forward at hypersonic speed. Each punch shattered space around the shadow, sending shockwaves across dimensions. Naruto followed with a flurry of Rasen shurikens, each spinning with Kurama's chakra infused. The air tore apart. The very laws of physics tried to break. But the villain adapted. Every attack was countered before it landed. Every strike dissolved before impact. It was as if the enemy knew their every thought before they even thought it. Naruto's mind raced. Think faster. Predict faster. He's reading us. Superman's voice cut through the chaos. Then we'll fight differently. And suddenly, the two heroes split. Not physically, but in approach. Naruto feigned attacks, drawing the enemy's attention. Superman moved like a phantom, striking from angles the villain couldn't anticipate. The shadow staggered. A crack appeared in its form, a small one. Naruto grinned. Gotcha. They hit again, harder this time. Chakra and alien strength collided, shaking clouds, tearing oceans, splitting mountains. The villain roared, a sound that felt like the end of days, like reality itself was screaming. Superman's fists glowed brighter. "Time to end this," he said. Naruto nodded. Together, the air between them shimmered. Rasengan met superhuman punch. Energy erupted in a storm of light so intense it blinded the heavens. The shadow screamed, and then silence. When Naruto opened his eyes, the figure was gone. No trace. No energy. Just a faint ripple in the sky, a reminder that it might return. Superman hovered, breathing heavily. "You okay?" he asked. Naruto nodded, still glowing with residual chakra. "We're fine. For now." The hidden leaf lay in ruins. Buildings cracked. Mountains scarred. But people were alive. Because even when gods and shadows clash, heroes protect. Superman looked down at Naruto. "You fought well. Stronger than anyone I've met." Naruto laughed, a mix of relief and adrenaline. "You too. But next time, maybe warn me before showing up like a falling star, yeah?" Superman smiled faintly. "Deal." But as they landed, a faint shimmer appeared where the shadow had disappeared. A whisper echoed across dimensions. "You have won for now. But the universe hungers, and I will return." Naruto clenched his fists. "Then we'll be ready." Superman placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Together, and above them, the rift shimmered. Not fully closed, but stable. A promise the world had survived. But only barely. Because when beings like this walk across realities, no victory is ever permanent.